You know, it helps when you turn these things on. It's good. It's good. It's good. This technology is new to me. I'm sorry. So welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a good lunch. Yes? All right. All fueled up and ready to go this afternoon. Our next speaker is Christian Hertlein. My Canadian accent is destroying his name. I apologize. Christian is an interaction designer at IDEO Munich. His passion lies in using empathic and human-centered design to create impactful user experiences within the intersection of visual, digital, and physical methods and tools. Across a wide range of industries, Christian focuses on designing, appropriating, and developing technology for the creation of objects, interfaces, and spaces that evoke emotion, creativity, and playfulness. In addition, Christian is a keen storyteller to help users understand and appreciate complex connections. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Christian Hertlein.
Hello, everybody. Was the lunch good? Yes? I mean, it has to be good, right? Inside of this great building with such a nice crowd here. By the way, hi, I'm Christian. I'm working as an interaction designer at IDEO, which is a global design and innovation consultancy. When I started studying interaction design, I was still living at my parents' place. One evening, sitting at home and soldering for my IDEO class, like you can see here, my dad came in. You have to know, my dad is an electrician, and I'm a designer, he's an electrician, so quite a contrast. So he came in and was really interested. His son is doing something with electronic parts. I mean, what a connection. He was watching me, and after a while he realized actually that I was just trying, I was just exploring what I can do with it. And he asked me, "What are you doing there?" And I said, "I'm just playing around." And he said, "It's a job, and you're just playing with it?" So this was probably not what you do with it, supposedly. Since time has passed and I have experienced working on different projects for different clients in the field of what we call UX. And now that I have a job, my dad still thinks that I'm just playing. I'm really often asking myself, what is UX design? I mean, does UX design exist? And the debate is as old as the discipline itself. And there are multiple opinions and definitions about UX. And I'm sure you have your point of view as well. But rather than providing a pixel-perfect definition here, I would like to show you 2 comments. The first one is by Christina Wodke. She recently twittered, "There are 3 core disciplines in UXD. Visual and interface designers, interaction designers, and information architects." Here you can see a complete different opinion by Peter Mehrholz. He says, a UX designer is coordinating, orienting, helping all of the folks achieve some common goal, a singular intent. UX designers lead organizations to ensure that great experiences get out into the world. So he argues that UX design is more a strategy than only design. So, but then there's the question of what is the role of a UX designer? Actually, what is my role then? And I guess most of us have been already to an orchestral performance. There's one person stands out, the conductor. He leads the musical ensemble. He is responsible for the whole harmony of the piece. Linking that back to the UX topic, I would ask, is the UX designer a conductor? Orchestras are really complex. There are many parts and pieces. And the competence of the conductor's teammates is crucial, obviously, for the quality of the whole piece. But it is on his decision, on the conductor's decision, to define the concrete direction of the musical piece. So, to define the concrete direction of the music piece here. And he is able to create, based on his knowledge, he is able actually to create an acoustic experience to his audience on purpose. We as UX designers have a broad range of methods and tools, and I mean there are many out there, and this is really about how can we actually choose the right tools and methods to create impact. I'm sure you know most of these methods and tools here as well, and they are constantly changing and evolving, so UX also does. But it is up to my decision, or up to my knowledge and experience to choose also the right methods and tools to create impact. But the question here is, how can we actually choose the right tools and methods that are like instruments and techniques, how to play these? Rather than talking about what is it or what is it not, let's be more specific. I would like to show you a few examples on different aspects, based on different aspects, where different methods and tools are chosen to create impact. And some of these examples I have worked on, and some of these examples are by colleagues that I find really inspiring. Let's start with the first story. Did you know that 7 in 10 pregnancies are unplanned in the US? I mean, 7 in 10 pregnancies are a surprise. And that affects women of all ethnicities and socioeconomic levels, especially unmarried women in the age between 18 and 29. So, we, a team at IDEO, worked for the national campaign to prevent teen and unplanned pregnancies, which is a non-profit NGO in the US, to challenge this pressing social, to address this pressing social challenge. We interviewed women in the target demographic. We talked to doctors, counselors, and other experts with different opinions about birth control, and hosted roundtables to gather more insights. And all the research and prototypes efforts led into the design of the bedsitter campaign. Excuse me. Here you can see a range, or specifically a selection of tools and methods which were chosen to create the right tone of voice service experience. These are, here you can see the tools, the dark circles, and underneath the row are the methods. Some of these might be familiar to you, but it is about the composition and their application which makes it unique here. We can compare that with a score. We can compare that with a score, just imagine here's a score, a sheet of a music sheet. The conductor is able to use this musical sheet, and based on that sheet, he has to choose the right skills, the right tools, the right methods to create a symphony. So, I think also the lunch was really nice, so just continue. We just saw the overview, saw the map, and we started using the Experience Blueprint. Experience Blueprint is basically a map where you can show the touch points of the users with the brand. And based on this, we were able to visualize the path followed by the user to different, especially on different channels. So the bedsitter campaign that we just saw, this is actually a multi-touch point birth control system with a carefully crafted sex-positive brand. I mean, that is really, really uncommon for the healthcare industry. And we focus on 5 key areas here: on the awareness, motivational drivers, digital offerings, services, and loyalty. And this system actually behaves like a vehicle for behavioral change, and which is flexible enough to grow into a much larger movement. Based on that, we were able to create or to define design principles. So design principles provide a foundation to a brand. And by defining design principles, we were able to create guidelines as a basic orientation through all activities. And obviously, one basic design principle here was the tone of voice. So the tone of voice here has to be simple, transparent, and understandable. It was about talking the human language of women in this age. I mean, just think about how would you talk about this topic to young women. So shaping, or let's recap while we are working, I guess. Shaping the right tone of voice service experience means to know about, or includes to know about the touch points, creating guidelines to create also a careful communication on different channels. Like we just saw in the beginning, there's the website, and we build the awareness also in some toilets, and just to use different channels which are probably sometimes also uncommon. Let's move on to the next aspect. Back. Nice. So we skipped that here. I just spoke about the score. Here's the score. And it's finished again. Let's talk about the next aspect, translating human behaviors. So let's just assume we are not feeling good today. We are headache, I have headache, you have headache, something with the stomach. What would you do? What? Medicine. Okay. And you know what you actually have, or usually, okay. I personally would take my computer in the beginning, would probably look up at the internet on different websites what this could be. And then I will land on different pages with most likely a lot of different symptoms, what this could be. And then I get scared because that could be so much. The next idea, call my doctor. And doctors spend up to 3 hours a day on the phone answering questions by concerned patients about their symptoms, which means doctor has less private life, and they even often don't have streamlined systems for that. So how can we then translate the human behavior into something digital? My New York colleagues worked on an app called PingMD. And this app makes it easy to speed up the physician replies to caregivers. So, whereas the average response time via email and other secure messaging systems takes about 72 hours, so 3 days, with PingMD, they are able to do that within an hour. And the act of sending and reply takes only about a minute due to clever ask questions and new ways of handling the patients. I would really like to show you some screenshots that you can get a better understanding of what I'm actually talking about. Let's see. How are you doing? 5 minutes. Okay, let's see. Okay, it probably takes 5 minutes. So talking about the translation of human behaviors, we have to know about the taxonomy. This is actually like creating an harmony of a musical arrangement. So the term taxonomy describes multiple ways to categorize content and data. And it is a comprehensive solution through human-centered design. So my colleagues identified and addressed different user needs of patients and caregivers. They went out to... Can we probably skip the score? Because it makes it easier. Yeah. So we had that, the experience blueprint. We just did the design principles, and then we went on to talking about the translating behaviors. That's actually the app PingMD. And the resolution is different. Just imagine, so here we can see the app which is asking clever questions before we pass them over to the doctor. So that's actually the tools and methods which were used for to create or to translate this human behavior. So I just wanted to start with a taxonomy. As I said, my colleagues went out to talk to patients and visited other different medical facilities to determine what was wanted and needed. And obviously, the patients wanted to have a quick response time, and doctors wanted to have tools to make this easy replies possible. So aligning these interests, translate them into something digital is what PingMD does. To reach this goal, my colleagues used A/B testing. So they created prototype screens in order to gather more input from or more feedback from the user. And they also did live streaming user feedback sessions in order to iterate the design in real time. And they went to more than 10 iterations to reach that goal, to make it as easy as possible, these speedy replies. So the result here, as I said, is an app that's asking basic and important questions first, handling the concerns of the patient in the right way, and then pass them over to the doctors. So hopefully we all feeling better now. Everybody has a dream, but not everybody has a financial plan for this dream. So 100 is an app which was launched by Swiss Life. Swiss Life is Europe's leading provider of life insurances. And this app makes it easy to connect both the dream and the financial plan. When you were 18, 20 years old, how have you thought about insurances and financial planning? I mean, I haven't thought about so much. The challenge here at Swiss Life asks us to help to understand the future of financial security, define what human-centered might mean for Swiss Life, and to design a brand experience and a business model for a 21st century venture. After just 4 months of initial research and development, we launched the alpha version of 100. And there are still ongoing releases adding new features and functionalities based on the user feedback. So you have to know your audience to create delightful experiences. This is like playing music in front of listeners that expecting how that should be played. We started with stakeholder interviews. So stakeholder interview gather insights and user goals, and that helped us to prioritize features and to define the key performance indicators, better known as KPI. So that was an important foundation to us to understand the user needs, and especially to understand what financial security actually means to young people, this non-tangible term. Pattern libraries provide example of interaction design patterns and promote the consistency. That makes it easier to improve elements as needed. And by using design patterns here, we were able to translate the goals into something visual for a digital platform. For instance, you were able to, or you are actually able to create a goal. Just imagine you want to save for a bike. And we use progress bars to visualize the progress of the saving and to celebrate the saving behaviors here. Just imagine a bank asks you, I have to read that, explore and develop impactful new ways to improve everyday payment interactions. Okay. We were asked that exactly by the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, which is a major provider of financial services and leader in financial technology solutions in Australia. So we did a lot of sketches. We did a lot of Rebel prototyping, as you can see here also with Arduino. And the result was the conception, design, and implementation of the new open platform called Pi and the new portable payment device called Albert. And that was a collaborative work of different disciplines, of product design and digital design, under the aspect of the brand consistency. So understanding such a role or such a device, the role of such a device in a daily interaction is like getting to know about different musical tastes. We started creating, we created a comprehensive list of use cases and scenarios. That happened when users are actually interacting with the product in their daily life. And by that, we were able to ensure all possibilities were well considered. So we had 3 research key findings. The first one, current devices take simple card payment only. So Albert accepts 3 different ways. The second one, current systems are just seen as a necessity. Here we have the opportunity for a next generation platform to add value by facilitating a better relationship between the bank, the merchant, and the customer. The third key finding was current devices don't reflect nature of merchant businesses. All key findings are really obvious, but what does that actually mean? I mean, the offer, the service and payment experience is the same, either if you're going to a luxury boutique or if you're going to a gas station. So customize and evolve the payment interaction here is obviously the key. By using product design to create the shape of the device and digital design to implement modern technologies and make them easy to operate with, that both is inseparable. Based on what we just saw, considering the complexity of the whole project, I would like to mention also the accessibility. And I just saw that accessibility seems to be a bigger theme this moment. So I was really surprised actually by the outcome that we had. Let me explain. Targeting accessibility presupposes to know who you are actually targeting. So we did this kind of small map to get to know more about the people and to get especially an understanding of the limitations to make such a device accessible. And you have to put yourself also into the role of a blind and impaired person. Can you imagine just to do your daily payment interactions without seeing anything? I mean, that's really hard. You can't use the terminal in front of you. How can you get the money and everything like that? This is like playing music in front of people that are not able to hear. And this is similar like showing a touch screen to somebody who's not able to see anything, or using a front touch screen in front of people who are not able to touch it, who are physically impaired. So hardware and software prototyping is a necessity. Usually, hard and software prototypes are not complete, and they may be completely different from the final product. And we prepared, in this case, prototypes on the hardware at the casing and also software-based solutions. We went out for usability testing with these hard and software prototypes. And usability testing is usually a one-to-one research interview in which users are asked to perform a series of tasks on the prototype in order to validate and collect feedback about the flow, the design, and the features. So we tested the hardware and software first individually and later on in combination. And we were totally blown away and surprised by the outcome, because our users used the device in a completely different way. So we went from several more iterations in order to reach that point of making Albert, the device, accessible, which means here to balance the haptic and acoustic feedback. So using prototypes can help you actually, or help us to get an understanding of an area where we are not familiar with. I just showed you a glance of my palette, which were used on recent projects. Over the last few years, I emerged 3 principles for myself. The first one, that actually act like my mantra. The first one, never stop learning. I mean, we have to expand the range of tools and methods that we are using. And related to that, keep practicing, because it's not only about learning new tools, it's also about how to know to use these tools in order to integrate them into your repertoire, and then you are able to know when to choose them. This is like the conductor does with his musicians. He is practicing over and over again. And the third one is be empathetic and change perspectives, which means I have to keep my eyes open, I have to keep my ears open, and I have to be agile and try new things, like I did back in the days in the kitchen at my parents' place. And sometimes it's also just about use and trust your own intuition. And then I will be the hero for myself when I am able to reach or to having impact with my design, which means I am able to translate human behavior. I am able to create delightful UI metaphors. I am able to integrate product and digital design and make it accessible. And I am able to shape the right tone of voice service experience, of course. And then I am able to play, important part, my father don't like it, to play with the methods and tools, so my orchestra, in different situations and on different setups. Sometimes it's messy and there's no recipe or no formula at all. That's the case. But that's exactly the point where I have to orchestrate design. And that's the point where the UX designer is a conductor. Thanks for listening.